All right, so one of the single most important things you can do is take your goal, whatever it is, and put it through this test, right? So it's a test to see whether it's a true goal or whether it's an unformed, unclear kind of wish, hope, or want, right? So first you start with your general idea, and then you start adding some sort of vision to it, and you feel good about that. And then you start fleshing it out a bit more, and you feel like there's a little bit more kind of like legs to it. And slowly but surely, you'll come to a place where you actually have something to kind of work with. And one of the best things you can do is ask yourself, how do I know? How do I know that I've actually achieved this? Right? Like, what are the signs? What are the tests that I can perform to let me know objectively that I've achieved this goal? So one of the things, for instance, let's say it's a financial goal, right? Financial goal, you'd be like, hey, I'll know I've achieved this when I open my bank account on my, Chase, whatever, checking account online, and I see that I have, X number of dollars in there, right? So that would be a way to basically prove to yourself and say, hey, listen, this is kind of, this is relatively a realistic thing. Another thing to do is to ask yourself and say, hey, on a scale, so not on a scale actually, you'd say, is this goal that I'm stated in a positive tense, right? So is it something that if I can state this, my brain will understand as a positive thing? So, for instance, somebody might say like, I stopped smoking, right? That's not necessarily a positive tense, but what you could say is I'm a non-smoker. So it's a declarative of an attribute, right? Versus a negation of behavior, right? So that's something. That's something else that you can start factoring in. And then another thing too is to say, is it in a personal tense, right? So sometimes people talk or set goals in terms of kind of more of like a cryptic language, which is fine for shorthand. But then other people, they decide, you know what, like, how do I make this a sort of personal language? So you'd say something like, I am a non-smoker versus I stopped smoking, right? So it's, again, kind of declarative, kind of personality thing. So with all these attributes, all of a sudden you have a very strong sense of direction, right? And then you have a very clear sense of what this thing will look like when it's finished, and then you also have kind of a depth, right, to the vision, right? And then it's also in the present positive personal tense, so you have and a clear identity to the background. Maybe back here actually, something like that. I don't know, but anyhow, so that this is kind of this is how I would look at things. But really, the most important questions you can ask yourself are, one, how do I know? How do I know? It's a great song, right? How do I know that this is done? What are the tests to prove, right? And then you could also say, is it present, positive, and personal, right? So say, I am a non-smoker, right? So this is kind of like affirmation language, right? I'd say this one is optional, right? This one is optional. But if you can do these, those are essential, right? These are absolutely essential, right? So what are the tests and how do you know, right? You put any goal through there, if it checks out, it'll be like a funnel, right? If it checks out on all three of these, then you know that you have something rock solid that you can start working with and start implementing on immediately. So there you have it. Yeah, it takes a little bit of discipline and discernment, but once you have that, you'll be in a really good place. And finally, I mean, this whole example, the reason why I drew it out is really just to show you that also, your vision of what done looks like is so important, right? So this whole thing is just a visualization of what the final result is, right? Final result. So if you can do that, you'll be in a really, really, really good place. So enjoy it and talk to you soon.